Contract and release. Quick tips for the dance minister. Today's tip: obedience is not a four-letter word. Sacred dancers, one of Satan's most effective strategies concerning you as God's chosen vessel is the attempt to manipulate your mind. Listen, we already know that as dance ministers, we are God's secret weapon in spiritual warfare, and our engagement in various types of warfare is not optional. Oh, we will participate, whether willingly or kicking and screaming, literally. Therefore, it's in the mind that the conflict first begins, and it's in our mind where we must become supremely disciplined and obedient. Jesus was crucified at a location called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. So too, for the sacred dance ministers, it is this territory of our mind that must now be spiritually crucified. And that's one of the most difficult regions of our body temple to conquer. Our minds are virtual breeding grounds for unyielded desires, thoughts, bad habits, and so many other things, but it's also where we learn to develop and strengthen and activate the power of the Holy Spirit in us over our flesh. Dancers, we have power, but know this: the greater the depth and breadth of the liturgical dancer's revelation from God is, the more violent, blatant, and devastating are the assaults from the enemy. And don't take this lightly, dancers. As a result of the calling in the area of sacred and performing arts, and as a result of the way in which we choose to express our faith through dance, we are targets who will certainly receive our fair share of fiery darts of critique and doubt and envy and jealousy and strife. But it's only if we get caught up that we lose our footing. We can't afford to be ignorant to the enemy's devices, seductions, and intentions to bring death and destruction to our very doorstep by any means necessary. Remember, Satan wants to attack the mind. That's our biggest stumbling block. So we have to be careful not to become the very sin we despise. What if, dancers, we all became individuals who would not just speak out, but would live out a life of obedience that would not be lowered, compromised, or perverted? While I determine my level of sacrifice, God alone determines the authenticity of my obedience. So, dancers, obedience is not a bad word. Obedience is a blessed word.